It's a good day to be Goodrow, and the Rempire State Building has finally asserted himself into the Eastern Conference Final against the Florida Panthers. The New York Rangers leave New York with a split with the Florida Panthers, and honestly, that is a very good outcome heading back to Florida for games 3 and 4. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. My name is Darius Domingues, and guys, we're just kicking off the channel here, so if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So much to talk about today. Matt Rempe makes his series debut in Game 2, and personally, I think he made a world's difference. He was asserting himself physically, and that is a game that the Florida Panthers like to play, and the New York Rangers fell victim to in Game 1. This was a really tight game once again, but the Rangers prevail on a great goal by Barclay Goodrow. And Barclay Goodrow, he is a great playoff performer. We'll get to that later in the video, but to start it off, I mean, we have to give our flowers out to a couple players here, and one of them for sure is Igor Shesterkin. He was absolutely fantastic in this game. Like you can see here, a 963, letting in only one goal. And again, you can't really blame him on the goal. There's a lot of goals for the Florida Panthers so far in this series, and you can't really blame him. There was a lot of chatter about Roslovic as well, slotting in over Kakko because Rempe was coming in. I didn't think he had that bad of a game. The stat line, again, isn't fantastic, but I didn't think he played that bad whatsoever. He played 16 minutes, which was nice. And because of the injury to Jimmy Vesey, which we may not be seeing him for the foreseeable future, Matt Rempe stepped up and played 10 minutes, which was great. Obviously, Goodrow with the goal. Trocheck with the other goal early on in the game. Fantastic. And I thought Adam Fox, despite being visibly injured, he is not playing like the Adam Fox we know, had a pretty good game, and we will get to it in a second. And speaking of Adam Fox, he spoke before the game in what the Rangers had to do to be successful in this one. And Adam Fox, on the lack of offense, particularly from the D-Corps, you want to produce. Some are expected more than others, myself included. Said the main goal is to defend first, but the New York Rangers need to be better at, quote, getting up in the rush, joining late, and delivering pucks from the blue line. And I thought they did a great job of that yesterday, or at least a better job than in Game 1. I still think that the Rangers have another level they can get to, which is pretty scary. And even the Florida Panthers, I don't think these teams are on full display just yet. I think once we hit mid-series, we're really going to see what this is all about, and a lot of mind games and stuff like that. And Adam Fox had another great game, carried the team as well. I mean, as you can see here from this chart, which tells a lot of the game story, he was the second best player for the Rangers on the ice tonight, and Trocheck had a monster game. But again, Adam Fox had a really, really good game, and a lot of the defensemen as well stepping up for the New York Rangers in this one. I thought they all had a really solid game for the New York Rangers. And if you take a look again at Adam Fox's stat line, he had 6 shots. He had the assist as well. He was putting in work last night and obviously played half an hour on the night. Of course, it went to overtime, but overtime wasn't that long. So he played a good 29 minutes time on ice, he is carrying the team, and he is, to me, visibly injured. I mean, he is not playing like, you can tell he's frustrated too. He can play a lot better. So props to Adam Fox for addressing what needed to be done and fixing it and having a great Game 2. And I think he's going to, really carry them into the next couple games in Florida. And now as we move along to Matt Rempe, the Rangers are now, including last night, 21-3-1 with Rempe in the lineup. You can't tell me this kid doesn't make a difference on the ice. He's huge. He was throwing his body around. The crowd, you can just tell he won a face-off. Somebody was kicked out of the face-off. He won a face-off, and the crowd was absolutely going insane over that one face-off. I mean, he is electric at this point. The crowd loves him. New York Rangers fans love him, and every time he's out there, he's making something happen. He's trucking guys. He's running around the ice, and he's asserting this physical dominance that the Rangers would not have otherwise. So he absolutely has to continue to be in the lineup in my eyes. I thought he added something to the lineup yesterday that they didn't have in Game 1, and I'm not saying it's the reason they won, but he certainly helped. He certainly helped the cause, and he also said after the game, I don't want to let them down. He's talking about the crowd, of course, and the Rangers fans. I love them so much. No matter what they're chanting, I got to go out there. I want to make them proud. And that was Matt Rempe after game 2 last night. And he's a great quote as well. If you listen to his post-game comments, he is a great quote. And he just puts it out there on, puts it all out on the line when he's out there. And what is there not to love about Matt Rempe? I love it. He uses his speed. He's pretty good with the puck. He's underrated defensively, especially last night, getting the puck out, making plays and board plays. Pretty underrated defensively. And again, he played a fantastic game. So props to Matt Rempe. Obviously only played 10 minutes. Probably would have played less if Jimmy Vesey didn't get injured. So we'll see what happens going forward. Kaapo Kakko might come back into the lineup now with Jimmy Vesey injured. But to me, you cannot take Matt Rempe out of the lineup. Now, to get to Barclay Goodrow, the hero of the night, and obviously this guy's done it all in the playoffs. He's won Stanley Cups, and he has obviously been a great presence for different teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and again for the New York Rangers again last night. Barclay Goodrow last night, 1 goal, 5 hits, 4 block shots. He won 10 faceoffs, which is underrated. If you are good at faceoffs in the playoffs, you are a special player, all right? Faceoffs are an extremely overlooked stat in the playoffs, and he's been getting it done in the faceoff circle, and he was the OT hero for the New York Rangers last night. And to further that, he had 4 goals in 80 games in the regular season. He now has 4 goals in 12 playoff games so far for the New York Rangers this year, as he is a 16-game player, and by that, obviously, a playoff player. All right, Barclay Goodrow comes to play when it is playoff time. He absolutely does. He only had 4 goals in the 80 games that he played this season, and he has matched his output in the playoffs so far. This guy is a stud. He knows how to get it done in the playoffs, and it was a great shot. I mean, bats it out of the air. He goes over to the near boards. He gets it back in the middle of the ice. It's hard to make a play, especially against the Florida Panthers in the middle of the ice like that. He makes the play. Great shot. Beats Bobrovsky, who was on top of his game last night. That is a great goal and something that the New York Rangers desperately needed. And to move off of Barclay Goodrow, to give love to one more player, Igor Shesterkin. I mean, 27 shots against, 26 saves. Of course, he only let in the 1 goal. I mentioned it earlier in the video. 963 save percentage and undefeated in OT so far this postseason. And with that win, he ended Bobrovsky's overtime winning streak in the playoffs at, I believe, 13 games. He was going for the record last night, and the Rangers ended it. So Shesterkin, again, undefeated in overtime this postseason, and he has been pretty fantastic for the New York Rangers again. What are you as a team without a great goaltender? I'm not sure, and he's a great goaltender, so great for Igor Shesterkin. They're going to need more of that out of him, but I believe he's going to give it to them. He's a great goaltender, and he looks like he wants to win a Stanley Cup. So, and to give love to one last player before we wrap it up here, K'Andre Miller in the playoffs. This was heading into last night, 21 hits, 14 blocks, 10 takeaways, and a plus-minus of 4, which, plus-minus, say what you will about it. Not a real stat. Yes, you can look at it. It depends. If it's super bad or really good, it might tell a story, but somewhere in the middle like this, I wouldn't put too much into it. But again, he's a +4. That's great. And he's the only player with those numbers in this postseason. He's been playing great, and I wouldn't say he had a fantastic game 1 or 2 or stood out or anything, but that's a good thing too when you don't stand out sometimes in the playoffs. K'Andre Miller has been pretty steady for the Rangers back there, and what can you say? With Adam Fox injured as well, he's stepped it up in a way where, obviously, like I said, you're not noticing him, but that could be a good thing. He's just holding it down, which is good. So love that from K'Andre Miller. And heading into Game 3, it's going to be very exciting, and we're going to keep you updated here on the channel. So be sure to hit subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next video.